Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're gonna tackle something pretty significant that's happening in finance.
Hmm.
It seems like the focus is shifting, doesn't it? It's not just about, the products or keeping up with regulations anymore.
Right. The way banks and financial institutions connect with you digitally, this digital customer experience or DCX, it's becoming, well, a huge driver for growth.
Exactly. Those traditional things, they still matter, of course. But DCX feels like the main engine now.
I think that's a really good way to put it. We're at this point where, honestly, a lot of financial products kind of feel the same.
Yeah.
And customers just have so many options now. So
Hmm.
what grabs them, it's those digital moments, those interactions.
And their expectations aren't just set by other banks, are they? It's like their experience with any app, any website sets the bar.
Totally. It's the whole digital world influencing what they expect from their bank.
So yeah, this isn't just about having an app that looks nice. The sources we dove into, especially this really insightful piece from UXDA,
Oh, yeah, that was a good one.
it really hammers home how a well-thought-out digital experience isn't just a side channel anymore. It's like fundamental. It shapes what you do, whether you stick around.
It's the new battleground, really.
It is, and that UXDA article gives us a great structure, right? They pinpoint 10 key areas where digital design really pushes growth.
10 drivers. So our mission today, I guess, is to unpack why DCX is so central now.
Right, and pull out some useful, actionable stuff for you, the listener, to think about.
Okay. So where do we start? First contact.
Yeah, let's start right there. How do banks actually get new customers on board in this digital-first world? Those initial steps seem critical.
Right, absolutely critical. Think about opening an account or maybe applying for a loan. People now just expect that to be quick.
Super simple.
Yeah, simple and something they can do right on their phone right then and there.
No waiting.
No waiting.
Yeah.
So a smooth, really intuitive digital onboarding isn't just nice to have, it's that vital first impression.
It's like the digital front door, welcoming or not.
Exactly. Is it a welcoming branch or is it cluttered and confusing, digitally speaking?
And if that first interaction is clunky or asks for too much work.
People just bail. They'll abandon the whole thing. The data on this is pretty stark, actually.
Yeah, I saw that Lytico survey. It's a good digital onboarding can slash the time needed by like 2/3.
Up to 67%, yeah.
Yeah.
And get this increased completion rates by 25%
Wow.
and cut down the steps, the touch point, by 60%. That's a massive improvement.
It really is. But then you see the other side, that Signicat study. 68% of people giving up on applications because the onboarding is just too hard.
It's staggering, isn't it? All that effort to attract someone, and then they hit this digital wall right when they're ready to commit.
It's kind of hard to fathom that so many places still rely on like manual data entry behind the scenes or ask you for the same info over and over online.
It really is creating friction right at the start.
Nah.
Unnecessary hurdles.
So the main takeaway here is pretty clear then.
Yeah, I think the key takeaway is if you want to bring in new customers effectively today, you have to nail that simple, effortless digital journey right from the get-go.
That digital handshake needs to be firm and friendly.
You got it.
Okay, so frictionless onboarding gets them in the door.
But the market's crowded, right? Lots of similar options. How does a good digital experience help a bank actually, stand out, create an identity?
This is where DCX becomes a really powerful differentiator. It's often in the subtleties.
Like what?
Well, think about how a brand can express itself digitally. Visual storytelling, sure, but also those little micro interactions within the app.
The small animations and things.
Exactly. And the tone of voice in the text, the way the interface might adapt a little to you, all these pieces work together to create a unique digital feel, a signature.
It's like giving the brand a digital personality. I know UXDA talks about helping big financial brands do just that.
They do. And it's not just about looking good. It's deeper than that.
How so? When a bank deliberately weaves its core values, its identity, into every part of the digital experience, the design, the flow, the tiniest interaction, it reinforces who they are with every single tap and swipe, long before you might ever talk to a person.
That really connects with that Motista study, doesn't it? The one about emotional connection.
Oh, absolutely. Customers who feel emotionally connected, their lifetime value is, what was it, over 300% higher.
Yeah, more than 3 times. And they stick around longer, recommend more often.
And that emotional connection often starts and is built through these digital touch points.
So why is that emotion piece so critical in digital finance?
Well, because digital can feel very cold, very transactional, right?
Numbers on a screen.
Exactly. But a well-designed DCX can inject, humanity, empathy into those digital interactions. It builds trust, connection. It goes beyond just the service itself.
Okay, so we've got smooth entry, a distinct brand. Now, how does a really great DCX keep people engaged, keep them coming back?
Right. This is where things get really interesting, behaviorally speaking. The best digital financial experiences tap into our motivations. They create positive feedback loops.
You mean like understanding why people do what they do with money?
Precisely.
Yeah.
UXDA even calls it their dopamine banking idea.
Dopamine banking. Tell me more.
It's about understanding that emotional link people have with their finances, the hopes, the anxieties, and designing experiences that actually resonate with those feelings.
Okay, so give me an example. What kind of features are we talking about?
Think about seeing your progress towards a savings goal visually, maybe in a really engaging chart.
Or like gamified budgeting, making it a bit of a challenge.
Yeah, or getting clear, real-time updates on investments that show you, hey, you're moving forward. These aren't just cosmetic things.
They actually trigger something in the brain.
Kind of. They're designed to give you those little hits of satisfaction, that dopamine release, which reinforces good financial habits.
So it turns logging into your bank app from maybe a chore or something you avoid.
Into something potentially rewarding. It helps turn occasional users into loyal ones because the platform is actively helping them build healthier habits through positive digital nudges.
And there's data on this too, right? That research by Paula Bitrian.
The gamification study.
Yeah, it showed that adding game-like elements can boost user involvement by over 50%.
And improve saving habits by more than 20%. That's a real impact on financial well-being, driven purely by thoughtful UX.
That's impressive. It creates this positive cycle. Feel good using the app, use it more, build better habits, feel better about the bank.
Exactly. Stronger relationship, more loyalty.
Okay, let's shift a bit. What about those moments that really surprise you in a good way? The wow moments. How do they drive growth?
The wow moments. These are the things that stick with you. They create a really lasting positive memory.
Like what sort of thing?
Imagine getting instant approval for something you applied for when you expected to wait, or receiving genuinely smart financial advice proactively right when you needed it.
Or even just a clever notification that saves you some money or alerts you to something important.
Exactly. These go beyond just basic function. They're delightful surprises.
And these aren't just feel-good moments, right? They have a tangible effect.
Oh, absolutely. They can turn your average user into a vocal advocate.
Someone who tells their friends?
Precisely. That organic word of mouth is gold. And that Zendesk research, looking ahead to 2025,
Yeah.
it suggested banks that really optimize the customer experience grow significantly faster, like over 3 times faster than those that don't.
Wow.
And crafting these wow moments is a big part of that optimization.
It just makes sense, doesn't it? If you have a truly great, maybe even unexpected digital interaction, you're going to remember it.
And you're going to share it. And as UXDA points out from their experience, these moments don't just create temporary satisfaction. They build real loyalty, deeper engagement, and crucially, trust.
It lifts the whole relationship up.
Yeah, from just functional to something more meaningful.
Okay, so we have these engaged, loyal, maybe even wowed customers. How does a smart digital experience then help offer them more services, like cross-selling?
This is where a mature DCX really starts to flex its muscles. It's not static. It uses data intelligently.
Learning about the user.
Exactly. Learning from behavior, anticipating needs, and then offering the right products or services at the right moment.
So it's almost like having a smart digital advisor built in, someone who gets your situation.
That's a great way to think about it. And good UI design, smart contextual prompts make it really easy and natural for customers to explore other things.
So maybe if you have a savings account, it might suggest investment options aligned with your goals.
Or if you have a mortgage, maybe it flags relevant info about refinancing if rates change. It feels helpful, not like a pushy sales pitch.
Because it's relevant. And the numbers back this up too, right? Better personalization leads to way better cross-sell rates.
Yeah, those advanced strategies can boost success by like 20 to 30%.
While keeping people happy.
Exactly. Because you're adding value. That NTT data study from 2021 found nearly half of people expect their bank to anticipate needs and suggest useful stuff.
So it's moved from maybe nice to have to an actual expectation.
Pretty much. People want help simplifying their financial lives.
Okay. Building on that, understanding individual needs, let's talk specifically about scalable personalization. That sounds key.
It really is. In today's world, personalization isn't optional. It's table stakes.
People just expect it now.
They do. When your bank uses its digital channels to genuinely tailor things to you, your needs, your preferences, where you are in your financial journey, it makes you feel seen, valued.
And technology, especially AI, makes this doable at scale, right? You don't need a human crafting every single message.
Exactly. AI lets you weave personalization through everything: the dashboard they see when they log in, the notifications they get, the offers presented.
So everyone gets a relevant experience.
Ideally, yes.
Yeah.
Without needing an army of people behind the scenes. And the impact on loyalty is huge. It really reduces the chance someone will switch.
And we saw research showing banks using AI for personalization get a decent bump in acquiring new digital customers, too.
Right. And it's important to stress, good personalization isn't just about marketing.
What else, then?
It's about enhancing everyday interactions, providing the right support snippet when someone seems stuck, offering insights that actually help them manage their money better. It's about supporting their financial well-being in a tailored way.
Got it. So it seems like creating a great DCX isn't a one-and-done thing, which brings us to the need for continuous management. Why is that ongoing attention so vital?
Because often, people don't leave a bank because of one big disaster.
No.
Usually, it's the slow buildup of lots of small annoyances, little points of friction in the digital experience.
Like a button that's hard to find or a process that's just slightly confusing?
Exactly. Individually, they might seem minor, but add them up over time, and they really erode trust and satisfaction. People start thinking, maybe there's something better out there.
So a really good, empathetic digital experience needs to be constantly hunting for those little friction points and smoothing them out.
Precisely. How do you do that? Through ongoing user testing, watching the analytics closely to see where people struggle or drop off,
And actually listening to feedback.
actively soliciting it and acting on it. You have to treat your digital platform like a living product that always needs refinement to stay aligned with users.
And ignoring those small things has big costs, right? Like losing a significant chunk of your customers.
Absolutely. Those global stats about banks losing 20% of customers due to poor CX are sobering.
Yeah.
And UXDA mentioned this too, drawing on their work with clients like private wealth systems, the real value of constantly testing usability and folding that feedback right back into the design. It keeps everything sharp and user-focused.
Okay, so we're managing the experience. Now let's talk trust. In a world with fewer face-to-face bank visits, how does DCX build that fundamental trust?
It's huge. Your digital channels often are the primary face of the bank now, so trust has to be built there.
How does that happen digitally? What builds trust online?
Several things. Transparency is key, clear processes, knowing what's happening with your money. Also, how errors are handled. Is it clear, reassuring? Even the microcopy, those little bits of text, do they sound helpful, empathetic, secure? It all adds up to convey reliability.
So it's about the digital interface itself, signaling competence, care, making you feel like your finances are secure, even though it's just pixels on a screen.
You nailed it. And that McKinsey report really showed a strong correlation. The happier people are with their digital experience, the more they trust their bank, especially when the economy feels shaky.
That digital trust is like bedrock.
It really is. And it's
Okay.
interesting that Frontiers in Psychology research pointed out that while looking good helps,
Yeah.
real deep trust comes from the experience being smooth, intuitive, reliable. Does it work flawlessly? Do I feel in control? That's where trust is truly built online.
Function over pure form, essentially.
When it comes to trust, yes, reliability and ease are paramount.
Okay, nearly there. Point 9 shifts gears a bit. How can a well-designed DCX actually help a bank innovate faster?
Right. This is about agility. A modern, well-architected digital experience, especially if it's built using modular design principles.
Meaning like building blocks.
Yeah, sort of. It allows for much faster cycles of testing, learning, and updating compared to old, monolithic legacy systems.
So if a bank wants to try out a new feature or respond quickly to something competitors are doing,
Having that flexible digital foundation is a massive advantage. They can roll out new things, run small experiments, see what works.
with less risk and faster.
Much less risk, much faster turnaround. It lets them adapt quickly to how users are behaving, what the market's doing. It's about staying nimble.
Keeps them competitive. And there was data on this too from the financial brand.
Showing that firms using these experimentation-led approaches were reporting pretty significant revenue growth, often 10% or more.
So that digital agility pays off directly.
Absolutely. It's about having a digital setup that can evolve, which is just essential today.
Okay, last point, but a really important one. The bottom line. How does great DCX impact operational costs?
This is a big one. A really seamless digital experience can drive major cost savings by empowering customers to do more things themselves. When people can easily handle routine stuff online or in the app onboarding, checking balances, transferring funds, even resolving simple queries.
They don't need to call or visit a branch.
Exactly. It drastically reduces the load on those more expensive human support channels, like call centers.
So better self-service tools mean happier customers and leaner operations.
It's a classic win-win. Well-designed portals, helpful chatbots, maybe even UX that anticipates a question before you ask it. It all cuts down call volumes, message queues.
Frees up staff, too.
Definitely. It frees up human agents to handle the really complex, sensitive issues where a personal touch adds the most value.
And McKinsey highlighted this as well, didn't they? Significant drops in contact center traffic through good self-service.
Yep. Clear link between intuitive self-service and lower operational costs.
Right. So pulling this all together, the message seems crystal clear. Digital customer experience isn't just a feature anymore.
No, it's absolutely central. It's core to growth, core to how financial institutions need to operate now.
It touches everything, doesn't it? Attracting customers, keeping them loyal, making the brand stand out.
Driving innovation, increasing efficiency.
Mm-hmm.
Its impact is incredibly broad.
And looking forward, it feels like success is really going to hinge on creating these digital journeys that aren't just functional, but actually engaging, maybe even emotionally resonant.
I think so. The banks and institutions that truly invest in understanding what you, the customer, need digitally, and then craft experiences that genuinely meet those needs, maybe even delight you sometime.
They're the ones who will thrive.
They'll be best positioned for growth, absolutely.
So a final thought for you, our listener. Take a second to think about your own digital banking experiences. Where do your providers really nail it? And where do you feel like, well, they could understand you and your needs a whole lot better?
What would truly transform that experience for you?
And what does reflecting on that tell you about where finance is heading? Something to chew on. That's our deep dive for today. Thanks for tuning in.